What up, peeps, and welcome in to Studio Day Heffrey and Studio Day Broaddus. Two separately things put in one place to be called Trust the Tape. Hello, I'm Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
And that's Brian.
Hey, Bri.
Hey, Bri. How you doing, bud?
Doing well, Jeffrey. Thank you.
The Cowboys are doing stuff, which is different. It's very different for them. And who better than the man who I know that as each name came in, was finding whatever snaps this human being played on a football field last year to have scouting reports ready. So as the Cowboys have been signing, as the Cowboys have been trading for all of these different humans, what are we up to? 7 guys? We got 7 new Cowboys. They're filling up the rooms. Is there anything in particular that they've done so far that you're a fan of?
I think that when you talk about, there's a couple of, I do like the signing. I do like the Solomon Thomas signing because of what I think he could do as a backup 3, rotational 3. I think that Aaron Whitecotton, the coach who had him at the Jets, might have unlocked something with him. I do like the Turner signing to a point. I don't think he's a bendy, capture the edge guy. The athletic numbers will tell you that he tests a lot better than he plays. I do like the length of the player. I do like the ability to play the run. I think that's something that they can work with. Maybe a replacement there for Golston, who was getting pretty good at that. And then I do like the signing of Sanborn, the linebacker from the Chicago Bears. I don't know. The guy was making less than $1 million. I don't know how you can watch his tape if you're the Bears and kind of think, wow, this guy's playing for us, playing at a high level, run hit guy, gets around blocks, can play as a will linebacker, can play as a Mike linebacker. I don't know how you don't tender him, but new regime, same general manager. But I like that. Murray. I liked coming out of Oklahoma. I think there's some physicality to his game. I think there's some element of some explosiveness to his game. And we'll see with the corner. I know there's people will say, "Oh, you need to watch the Kansas City game," much like you and I talked about. I watched a lot of. I feel like I watched 4 games of his off my next gen stats stuff that I have from the Cowboys. I can all the plays where he's on the field and feel like he's a much better man player than he is a zone player. So I think they've addressed some of the things that they needed. I don't think it keeps them from drafting some of the guys. So, if you're interested in corners, still need to go there. Linebackers still need to go there. Defensive linemen still need to go there. But it's they did a lot more, like you said, than what they've done in the past.
And probably because they had a lot more to do, because now you're going into like a second off season of not having added, and you're just running out of players, and they needed to add players. But still, I'm glad that they have. We talk about a linebacker room that doesn't have enough bodies in it, and now you've added the bodies to it. I would say the one that I'm not thrilled about, Brian. Can't tell you what I'm not. No, we shouldn't do that. We should do what we're happy about. But the one I'm not thrilled about is I feel like they jumped the gun. Now that I've seen what Rico is getting, and they jumped the gun, and just whichever guy would accept the amount they were offering, and it turned out that Rico Dowdle is going to get the same thing that Javonte Williams got. And I feel like you could have had a better player, but they just fired off into the bargain bin without even waiting to find out.
Yeah. 2 things here. I think they misjudged how much money Jordan Lewis was going to get, and I think they misjudged Rico Dowdle's money. They probably
thought Lewis could be had for cheaper.
Yeah, I believe
I don't think they would know, because I don't think they talked to Jordan's agent.
There are people in the organization, though, that believe that they could get him back as the nickel corner. Maybe they didn't talk to his guy, but talking to people in the organization, I think they were surprised that the number went to 10. I don't think they're ready for that. And this is what we've talked about on shows and various platforms we've been on. Jordan Lewis wasn't in the top 100 list of free agents. He wasn't in the top 75 list of free agents. But if you watch Jordan Lewis play like pro personnel guys and gals do, you knew who Jordan Lewis was.
That's why I just feel like people who make the lists, like we just have to ignore a lot of things in media because like people who make that list, like you can, I like to gauge the reaction of people who know these players when something happens. Like when Jordan Lewis gets $10 million a year, people who watch him, cover him, talk about him, media, fans, all are like, damn, that sucks. Jacksonville got a really good player. Like trying to make that list as a national or off of a spreadsheet or whatever, good luck. Like Jordan Lewis is a player, but they're going to put some former first rounder way above him or like whatever. It's name recognition. It's a bunch of crap. Jordan Lewis
you know, to me, if I was on the national media scene where I was working on First Take, Get Up, you know, whatever the show you're working on, there's one team that I would know forwards and backwards. The Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. I wouldn't, you know what? Hey, the Philadelphia Eagles, nice. Hey, good team. Kansas City, nice team. Buffalo Bills, nice team. The one they talk about the most is the Dallas Cowboys. I would know your 53-man roster like no other. And when the names of Jordan Lewis and others popped in, and they're like, well, you know, these nickels, guys looked at Jordan Lewis. You look at Jordan Lewis. I know it's a team that won 7 games this year. If you watch Jordan Lewis play, that's the first thing. That was a great thing about Dave Hellman working the way he does at Fox when they used to have him on Speak or Speak Up or whatever that thing was called that he was doing, where he was trying to make sense with those guys.
Yeah, it's hard.
He knew your team. He knew your team, and so to me, a lot of people. You're right about making those lists. There's guys and gals that supposedly have the baton and the microphone and the camera to be able to stand up there and say a lot of things about your team. Don't think they're overly educated about your team. But Jordan Lewis, I think the Cowboys, I think they misevaluated how much money he was going to get, and I think they misevaluated how much money they thought Rico Dowdle might get. Because unless they're completely against Rico Dowdle as far as they just don't think he's good enough, and they feel like that Williams, the one thing Williams could, if Rico Dowdle, he could catch and he could block, but that's the one thing that Williams does really, really, really well. But he's a straight line guy. You know, when you watch him run, I mean, Denver had problems running the football, and you know, Sean just didn't get it going like he could, but. That was kind of a strange one when it came down like the way it did.
Yeah, I just feel like they must have, like there was what Rico was asking for, and they were like, oh, we're not going to do that. And so we'll find somebody else, and like we'll just be done with it. And then 2 days later, Rico didn't get what he was asking for. And it's like, wait, what did he sign for? Oh, oh, crap.
See, this is where, Jeff, I think that maybe the depth of this draft at running back might have done what they think they need to do. They may like, listen, we could sign this guy that can catch and block, and we'll go get somebody that's explosive that could be the bell cow guy.
Yeah. I just wish that the guy who was going to be partnered with him was the better player for the same dollar amount. At least in theory or in my brain. How about that?
They missed that one. They missed that.
And I do think I always wonder what's going to happen in running back world, you know, with like the money, and it's like, oh no, running back doesn't matter. Bang. Here comes a couple of guys where it's like, yes, it does. Bang. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. And then we fight about it. And I think what the NFL is telling us right now is the guys who are absolutely incredible at this job and can change things. Yeah, I'll write a check for that. But most of you, we think are very much interchangeable and the same. And so, yes, every one of you can have like $2.75 million while we go draft the other guys. Yeah. If you're special, I'll pay you 20. But most of you, we think are all the same guy. And so it's just going to be the few haves and everyone else is a have not is what the running back market looks like right now.
Jeff, let me ask you a question if I could. And it maybe it takes us away from the running back market thought that you had. Do you feel like this team can continue to draft well? Do you feel like 2 years ago at this time we were probably waving the pom-poms for a drafting team? Do you feel like this guy's draft well?
Blanket statements are hard because, I mean, obviously the recent answer is no.
Yeah.
I think that there are a couple of things when it comes to what they haven't done well in the draft. And because it's such a interesting setup in Dallas, I don't know who to put things on. But no,
for the last you put on Will. You put on Will.
But for the last couple of years, they obviously don't draft well. Is that a reason to think that they won't draft well when they have
that's what I'm asking.
That's
what I'm asking. I'm asking, do you still have confidence? Okay, let me phrase it better then. Do you still have confidence that this team can draft well?
I have confidence that they could draft well. I don't feel nearly as good as I did a couple of years ago about the way that they're going to draft.
Okay, let me ask you this question then. Let me ask you this question. I'm sorry. Do you feel like though that there's been too much pressure put on them to draft well?
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the biggest issue.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Like if you don't use free agency and you don't use trades, and when you do use trades, like even what they've done, I think there's two different ways to kind of look at what they've done over the last 48 hours. One would be, on the whole, I'm glad that they're active. I'm glad that they're filling up the rooms of position groups so that they can draft clean. But I also think in the case of a couple of the guys, and namely the ones that you've traded for that were former first-round picks, it sure seems like the reaction from the other teams is, holy shit, someone gave us anything to get that money off our books? That's incredible. We're amazing. Yeah. And so like in those scenarios, it's just like, are the Cowboys uniquely in love with what they thought about guys 3, 4, 5 years ago and coming into a draft where
it's very evident?
Yeah, because it seems like the Titans they're stunned they were able to get Kenneth Murray $7.5 million off the books, and you were like, yes, please. And Kaiir Elam, Bills fans were praying, is there any way somebody would give us anything for him? And it was the Cowboys that did. And it's interesting that they are the one that seems to be uniquely fascinated with what they thought about guys years ago.
No, that's a really good point. And you look at with Elam and where he was selected, and I'm sure that they like the fact that he was a press man corner. Like I said, I believe that there's times you could watch him play Alabama in those games when Alabama was really 2021, 22. You could, exactly. You could
chomp him up.
You could watch him play, and look what they did with. Look what they also did with. Trading for Trey Lance, 2nd round grade. Mingo, 2nd round grade. You to your point, you're absolutely dead balls on right.
And then the one thing that I really don't love, because you asked about how you'd feel about them drafting or your faith in them drafting.
Sure.
What I really don't love is I feel like if I'm picking late in the first round, which in 2023 and 2024, Mazi Smith, Tyler Guyton, both of those, they were picking late in the first round. I would just love to think that the guy they bring in and the guy that you end up using that pick on, at the very least, is the right sort of dialed in football character. And I feel like if you look at the two guys, Mazi Smith and Tyler Guyton, I'll just say whispers that I have heard are
one didn't like football, and the other one was really super immature,
right? And doesn't respond well to adversity. And it's like, wait, you're using a first round pick on your potential future left tackle on a guy who seems to not be able to handle adversity, have some maturity situations.
Yeah,
and like, what are we doing? Who's doing the Senior Bowl and the combine interviews and being like, guys, it's a first round pick.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
That's fair.
And like they have a track record that says that they can absolutely positively draft. But yeah, there's stuff in the last couple of years that I'm looking at that stuff sideways. Like, what are y'all doing over there? I don't like it.
Yeah.
Just going back 2022, Ferg in the 4th is great. Deron Bland in the 5th is great. Tyler Smith in the 1st is great. Like that's just 3 years ago. 2023 just overshown basically. 2024, Nealand could turn out to be a fine pick. BB's probably a good pick. Leafau, we'll see. I don't know. They're a mixed bag. I don't feel great. I don't feel terrible. But there's the commonality of the two guys who, at least as rookies, weren't able to perform for you that were first-round picks. I'm like, can we just like put big old X's next to the guys where it's like their personality or their football character is not lining up with what we're doing with the first-round pick? X.
Yeah, if you don't like football and you're immature, then there's no reason to have you as on the team. It's simple as that.
We got us a super chat here. Emmett. Morning, Jeff and Brian. I really like the Sanborn pickup. Super solid for the Bears last year. Also like Solomon Thomas as depth guy at DT and DE. I don't dislike any of the things they've done, honestly. Like, I think the Kenneth Murray one is just interesting because he makes.
You don't like the running back. The running back thing, you don't.
I don't like the. No, I don't like the running back. Like, I like big picture.
Yeah, you don't understand. You don't understand. I'm not saying you don't understand. Like, you don't understand. Right. I'm saying that the thing that is puzzling to you is, why would you go for this guy instead of this guy, being all things were equal, and one clearly is a better player.
Right. Rico Dowdle's a better player than Javonte Williams.
This is where I think they misevaluated the money for. This is where I think they thought that guy was going to get more than they can afford.
And I don't know this. I just wonder this because I'm human, and the people who run this thing are also human. Whether you realize that or not, they are human people. They hear the shit that everybody says about them. I wonder if they went, look, first day, second day, do something. We need to do something because everybody's saying we don't do anything and we're not going to do anything.
Jeff, no.
And so they went and they signed a running back that they could have signed him for the same deal a week later. Nobody was running to kick down his door.
Sure.
And if they would have just sat there 2 days later, Rico could have called him back and been like, we were wrong about our market. What do you think about? And you could have a better player.
No.
They hear everybody talking about how they ain't going to do shit. They don't do anything early. They're going to sit around. And so they went and did stuff. And
you had this right to start the program. You had this right. The last 2 years, they have lost a lot of depth. They didn't pick up depth last year. They couldn't go 2 straight years watching guys walk out this door. That's why they did what they did, because they knew that they couldn't. I've said this before, and people hate this, and I said it on our program on Monday, is that there's a chance this team is not going to be better than they were last year. They could be even worse, and they were going to be worse for sure if they didn't re-sign some of the depth they lost. They've done a really good job of adding players for those 12 and 5 seasons, and then all of a sudden all that depth started walking out the door, and you can't cover that in a draft. You have to go out and sign, and they could not go through another season of just sitting there and just drafting, because they were going to fall further down the list of teams because they just don't have the players. And in ways, I think they still don't have the players to compete with the team that won the Super Bowl this year.
No, and so it's like they've,
or anybody else in the division.
We're ready for the Giants. We're ready for the Giants, Brian.
No, I meant in the conference. And the NFC, and exactly look what's happened in San Francisco now. Look what's happened to them.
It's wild to watch the conversations around different teams and what's going on, and people being so dug in on different ideas about things. Like in the case of San Francisco, I can tell you what happened. Their run of drafting really well ran out. And when you don't have the young talent to supplement what you've done in terms of being really aggressive with the salary cap,
you
smash into a wall. The salary cap came and got the Niners, and they don't have the young talent to try to desperately extend that by just signing new contracts for people. The Saints, the salary cap, they've smashed into the wall and had to restructure a quarterback they don't even want on their team so that they can sign players because they're dumb and they chase it even when they're not in a position to win. So like the Eagles are attacking it in the way that they do because they're adding the young talent. They're drafting well. They're extending guys. They're going to be good for a while. Like they're in the right spot to do it. And the salary cap thing's gotten wild because some people are just like, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
The Saints and 49ers say, no, you can't.
No,
and
you can't.
Some people say, you can't do anything. And plenty of teams tell you, well, you can do a lot more than they pretend that they can do. So the answer is in the middle. The Saints have smashed into the wall. The Niners are smashing into the wall. The Eagles know that they're still in the spot to be aggressive, and they're cruising along, and they'll hit a 1-year wall in 4 years, and then they'll bounce back from it after 1 year, and it'll be great.
Sure.
And who do you want to be, Cowboys? Like, who do you want to be? Because currently they're operating like a team that is just terrified of what happens when you spend aggressively. And right now they might be spending like a team that is just incredibly concerned about comp picks. The free agents they're signing are making that much money.
Yeah.
Tank's they're all a comp pick.
1-year deals. Yeah.
Tank will get him a comp pick. Yeah. And you're not going to sign anybody to the level that would cancel it out. And I don't know if I like.
Oh, you heard
I'm a comp pick guy.
No, you heard
comp picks.
I think you work with a crew that heard the same whispers I did, that they were going to take those comp picks. I know yesterday I was on Cowboys Break, and I told Derek Eagleton and Nick Harris and Ambar Garcia, I said, get ready. They're about to trade some of these comp picks.
Oh yeah.
Pick 170, goes off. I mean, they traded, they knew, that those comp picks, that's a way to go and get, cheaper help and maybe more established help, with what how they were going to play that.
Are you surprised with the trades that they have made? Because I feel like I can look around the league and I can trade day 3 picks for established NFL players,
scouts,
and they're doing it to fire at guys that have been incredibly disappointing that they liked 5 years ago.
It's a weird dynamic for going after the guys they once liked, but man, you could do some serious damage with those picks. You know why? This time of year, because these guys and gals that run these teams, they love picks. They love picks, man. It's like, gimme. Oh, sure, we could, ship off that guy. I don't care. Gimme a fifth. Give me swap a pick, swap. Ooh, I get to pick 10 spots earlier. Ooh,
I love a pick swap. Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These guys and gals that run these teams are they're so enamored with the pick. So I'm surprised they went after the players that they did, because I think you could have probably done even more.
Yeah, you could have gotten more proof. Like, I think of Elam, like you take Elam, who you traded for, and don't get me wrong, what they traded is very little, right? It's a day 3 pick, and you're giving me one back. They're giving up very little.
Yeah.
But I think if you take Elam, former first-round pick, and I do love the little thing somebody tweeted at some point that everybody is now sharing, which I forgot the exact phrasing of it, but it's like anytime you refer to somebody as a former first-round pick, it means they suck.
It means they're a bust, likely. Yeah.
Like, you're never going to have to be reminded where CeeDee Lamb or Micah Parsons was drafted. They're CeeDee and Micah. When you say former first-round pick, you're just trying to remind people that, hey, once upon a time, somebody thought somebody could play. I think the undrafted guy, Sanborn, who you didn't have to trade for, is the best player of those 3 today. And it's just, people love the dude that once upon a time was. That's it. It's like, it goes back. What we thought.
It goes back to Jerry's, and this, people are going to hate when I say this. It goes back to Jerry's education with Al Davis. This is a Raider thing. The Raiders were in Super Bowls in the 70s and the 80s because of taking players that once were first-round picks that end up being bust with the team that was drafting them, and then the Raiders coach them up, better players around them, and then they kind of turn out to be good players. So it's I just think they could have done more, because, like I say, this time of year, those scouts that are running these teams, they are thinking, like, how can I get more picks? They're looking at their board thinking, man, if I had an extra 3rd-round pick, if I had an extra 5th-round pick, God, I'd love this player. If I could just, that's what they're thinking about right now. They're not thinking about their team. You could take advantage of some of these guys and gals with but doing it that way.
Yeah, I do. I hope. Look, you know me, Brian. I'm a fake boomer sooner, so I hope that Kenneth Murray steps in and does.
I think Kenneth Murray at times when you watch Kenneth Murray play, there's some physicality to his game.
I understand the Cowboys thing because I vividly remember watching him pre-draft a half decade ago and going, "Oh, this dude's gonna wreck."
Yeah,
he's going to be awesome. And now you have people who just look at his stats because he got to play a bunch of football.
Well,
he's awesome. How are you going to talk crap about this guy? And it's Jalen Smith led the Cowboys in tackles. Yet somebody is on the field playing and accumulating statistics. It does not mean that you've done well. I hope Kenneth Murray does great here. If we're going to pretend that he's had a good NFL career, we're lying. So let's just not. How about that? Yeah. I just want to tell people that. Yeah. Super chat. 9-1 TSI. I look forward to hearing from Jeff and Brian every draft season. You two are some of the best content creators in the business. Just want to say thanks for what you do. We appreciate
that. Thank you.
Look at that.
It's Brian with a Y.
Look at that. Well, I wouldn't worry about it, Brian. Don't correct.
I appreciate paying customers, but man, I'd love you more if you just put a Y in there somewhere. You know.
I mean, people like to hit me with JEFFERY instead of REY. I don't have the energy.
I do. I'm proud of my name. I'm proud. Okay. I'm proud. I am really proud of it.
You didn't pick it.
Proud of a lot of things. I'm proud of a lot of things. I'm proud of a lot of things. Right here. I'm proud of a lot of things. Yeah.
Do you guys have more faith in this new coaching staff or this draft class? I appreciate all the work you guys do. Keep it up, or else.
Yeah, or else. I love it. There we go.
That's not a threat, of course.
Not a threat. Not a threat.
Do I have more faith in the new coaching staff or this draft class?
We've been talking these cats up, man.
Who? The coaches or draft class?
Coaches.
Okay. Yeah. I was say the draft class is terrible.
We've been talking these coaches up.
Yeah, I have some optimism for them. I don't think they're going to have good enough players, so I don't think it'll matter.
That's fair. That's fair.
I was texting with our buddy Hellman last night about this draft. I don't remember why.
Let's just call him.
He texted me something. I didn't.
What? Just
I
call him.
Want to call him. I don't like talking to him. He texted me. It's something about
he must be fun to talk to.
He must have been watching Georgia's pro day, and he was like, Malachi Starks at 12, and I was like, yeah, it'd be fine with me. Like he's got a little bit of that Ed Reed shit to him. I like him. Yeah. And then he said something about, am I wrong if this draft class is boring to me? And I was like, no, it sucks. Like there's two incredible prospects, and then
wait a minute,
a bunch of guys that I want to pick at number 42.
So, he okey-doked me the other day then because he was on with us in 105.3 and I asked him a draft related question and he goes, Brian, I really haven't been studying the draft. Like I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I should have maybe asked you beforehand, but
yeah, best not to worry about it.
My man's watching pro days and making draft opinions. What are we doing?
Yeah. No, he literally, I think I could read the text. I think he saw Malachi Starks at pro day do
what did he run, by the way?
Do a hip turn, and he was he looks good.
He looks good. Okay. What did I know? What our Michael Williams ran? Was it 4.87? Is what he ran?
I hope not.
It was 4.87, I believe.
I believe you. I'm going to find a guy with a different clock on him. Hold on.
Oh no, somebody got him at 4.69. That guy got him at 37 yards.
Yeah. See, that's what I got.
That's the if I was the director of scouting, I would say, listen, man, I like this kid. Make sure you get him at 37 yards. Stand just a little bit down the line, hit your clock, and then if they ask your time, don't say a word.
So wait, what are we doing? Are we pretending that a 4.7 is bad for like a 265, 270 pound guy? Because like Aiden,
I was just
4.74. Nick Bosa.
No. I'm asking. I think he ran the 4.8s. That's what I was just saying.
Why are you always coming for my guys? Okay, maybe
I'm not coming for your guys. I'm not. No. Jeff, we need to be ready. We need to be ready.
Oh, for Michael Williams to be picked at 12?
Michael Williams. Will Johnson, guys that you have questions about.
I like Will Johnson.
Okay.
People keep trying to use you to tear me down for liking Will Johnson.
I'm just saying. I would love to know how fast Will Johnson is.
Yeah, so everybody keeps tweeting me. They're like, he's slow. Broaddus said he's slow. And I'm like, I don't think he's slow. And they're like, why isn't he running? And I'm like, I don't know, but I've watched him play. And like, I don't think that like,
I don't think he plays particularly fast.
Yeah, that's okay. I just don't appreciate all of you people out there taking Bryan's questions.
I am not
turning it into an accusation and tearing down my guy.
I'm not trying to, I'm just saying, if you're okay with that, I need to figure out why I'm not okay with it right now. And I think the biggest reason, I don't have a problem with the player other than I don't know his speed. And that bothers me.
How are you, Tetairoa McMillen at 12?
Okay. Your best corner in the draft, this kid tore him up. Okay. And I'm kind of,
it's too late in the show for this. That's not true. That's not true because we've all said it. And I know he caught the fade on him. So I went back and watched the entire game and charted the entire game. Mm-hmm. Tet caught 3 balls for 15 yards and a touchdown on Travis Hunter with 2 incompletions and a flag. Mm-hmm. And he caught 100 yards of screens and drags on other defenders. Mm-hmm. He did not tear up Travis Hunter. He caught a great fade on him. He battled across the middle and caught a 4-yard drag, and he ran a 7-yard out that Hunter tried to jump underneath and just couldn't quite get there. He did not tear up Travis Hunter.
I worry. You know what? I'm starting to worry about Hunter a little bit. I'm starting to worry about Hunter because I've seen other games where people are catching the ball on him.
Well, that's okay. He's a receiver anyway, Brian.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He's a receiver anyway.
You and I got this.
Covered McMillen fine. He covered him fine. And
McMillen is you. Wait a minute. You did Tiny Mike interview, and you talked about your favorite receivers, and you had McMillen up there. What are you doing now?
I like McMillen, but we don't need to pretend he destroyed Travis Hunter. He didn't.
He did. Big catch.
He destroyed Colorado's defense.
Big catch.
Primarily guys I've never heard of.
Travis Hunter, part of that Colorado defense.
He was part of it, and he got a nice fade on him. Nice little 2-yard one-hander. It was a great catch.
Yeah.
It was a great catch. And he drew a flag on him.
Yeah.
But he wasn't just out there like, oh, my God, he routed him up again. Oh, my God. Did
Aya Manure tear him up?
I think he kind of did, didn't he? Now you're going to make me go do more fact checking.
I think you need to.
All right, well,
maybe I got confused.
Like we're talking up McMillen. That sounds like we're just tearing down Travis.
No, hey, listen, there's a reason why I think he's going to be a better wide receiver. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I look, Travis Hunter's a wide receiver. I'll let him go play some corner, but he's a wide receiver.
You folk that want to play him at corner, I'd play him at wide receiver.
Yeah. If I have a guy that can catch and nobody can stay in front of, he's getting the football. I'm not wasting him chasing other people around.
I'm with you on that one. Oh, wait a minute. I thought you were trying to talk me into, might have been one of the other 17 shows I'm on, was trying to tell me, maybe it was Vach that was trying to tell me or something. If I was on the draft show, maybe they were trying to tell me. I don't know.
Brian, I don't have consistent thoughts on anything in this draft class. It's all wild.
Marie's reminding me that he did win the Heisman Trophy. He did.
Who did?
That Hunter won the Heisman. I'm not against Hunter. I'm just having fun.
Player.
I am just totally having fun with Jeff right now. I am totally having fun with him.
Just draft Genty. Let's just pick a running back.
Well, okay. That's every day that looks like it's not happening. You know why? It's not happening? Tell us why.
Because he's too good.
That's exactly right, Jeff. Everybody else that we talk about, and you said this draft, I don't know, this draft's not very good. This draft's not very good. The ability off the field, character, and health. Why would you not take that kid?
No, you would take him. You would take him. No, you guys don't tell the guy who just watched every single snap. He tore him up on the plays you're not taking into account. No, I watched every single play of the game. There were not a bunch of Tetairoa wide open, on Travis Hunter crap.
Guys, I'm totally having fun with Jeff.
I like that this thing shows up as 125, and I'm like, holy crap, we're rich. We're going to pay off the pool. And it's Filipino money or whatever PHP is. And he's like, Jeff, this is only $3. And no, I haven't watched LaQuint yet. So hopefully Bryan did. And there you go. Go team.
Go team. I'm totally having fun with you, Jeff. Seriously,
I know it's great. I love
the distress you get into over this.
I just look.
He didn't tear him up.
He didn't tear him up. He didn't tear him up. I can give you every single route he ran on him and the result of it. Bombsy, incomplete. Slant, incomplete. In hip pocket. Out route. Jumped underneath it, couldn't quite get there. 7-yard gain. Fade, perfect ball. One hand, 2-yard touchdown. I watched them all. But no, what was I saying? We have to go. Jesus, Brian, go to work.
I'm not. You know what? I got to go do the draft show here in a little bit. Yeah.
Philippines. All right. Yeah.
Oh, Philippines. Right. Yeah. Philippines.
Everybody have a day. Remember that the Cowboys did.
You never know what Jeff's going through. Be nice to Jeff.
And everybody gets so mad at my negativity about the Cowboys. I just wish they had done some different stuff. Like I'm happy they have players. We needed players.
They signed some guys. They signed a linebacker, defensive tackle, possibly defensive end. Probably.
I'm gonna fight all of you. Have a great day. Remember that there's peace and love in heaven.